The smell of grilled lamb and cumin fills the air in a neon-lit Chongqing alley, where the heavy humidity feels like a wet blanket on your skin. A train glides right through an apartment building above, while an old man sits on a tiny plastic stool below, calmly eating spicy noodles. This isn't a movie set. It's just a Tuesday night in the world's fastest-growing city. Imagine a place with 1.4 billion people and 56 different cultures, where you can fly from frozen lands to tropical jungles in hours. Most people think they know China, but they've only seen the surface. In the next hour, we're going inside a mountain city, eating at a 400-year-old tea house, and visiting a village where people still live in caves. If you stay with me, I'll show you a secret spot in the Yunnan Mountains that looks like Switzerland, and almost no tourists go there. But pay attention, because if you skip the digital tips, you'll miss a trick about the internet that will save your trip from being a total nightmare. Welcome back to AI Clever Spaces. If you're new, hit subscribe, because what you're about to see will change how you view the world. We're going past the Made in China tag to see the amazing variety of this land. We're looking at how a nation this big stays so busy, wild, and beautiful all at once. Chongqing is our first stop, and honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around. It's the biggest city in the world by area, about the size of Austria, but it feels like a giant maze. You'll be on a street with cars and shops, thinking you're on the ground. Then you look over a railing and realize you're on the 22nd floor, with a whole other city moving far below you. GPS is totally useless here. You'll look for a cafe that says it's 50 feet away, but it's actually 5 floors above your head. This is the real-life sci-fi of modern China. It's loud, foggy, and full of life. You'll see men carrying long bamboo poles on their shoulders. They're called bang bang men. They've been the heart of the city for years, carrying heavy groceries and furniture up the thousands of stairs that make up Chongqing. Even as the city builds high-tech towers, these men are still here, a living link to a much simpler past. But wait, the wildest part isn't just the tall buildings. It's what's tucked away underneath. You can walk into a mall and find an 11-story place called Hongyadong that looks like an old wooden fort on a cliff. At night, it glows with orange lights and looks just like the bathhouse from Spirited Away. It's a mix of everything: the sound of cooking, the shouting of sellers, and the constant hum of the trains. If you're adding Chongqing to your list, hit that like button. It helps me know which cities you want to see more of. Next, you jump on a fast train east to Shanghai. The change is huge. If Chongqing is the gritty heart of the country, Shanghai is the shiny window to the future. You arrive on the maglev train, which floats on magnets and goes over 260 miles per hour. It's so fast, the world outside becomes a green blur. You leave the airport, and in 8 minutes, you're in a city of 26 million people. Walking the Bund at night is a dream. On one side, you have old stone buildings from the 1920s that look like London. On the other side, in Pudong, you have a skyline that looks like it was built with Legos and neon lights. The Shanghai Tower reaches into the clouds as the second tallest building on Earth. It shows how fast things move here. But the real soul of Shanghai isn't in the towers. It's in the small alleys called Longtang. This is where you see grandmas in pajamas hanging laundry and smell fried dumplings at 7 a.m. These dumplings, or shengjianbao, are amazing. They have a crunchy bottom and hot soup inside. Be careful, or you'll burn your mouth on the first bite. It's these small moments, like steam from a basket in a quiet alley, that show you China isn't just a big machine. It's a billion people living their lives all at once. Now, let's talk about the basics, because this is where people get stuck. You've probably heard of the Great Firewall. It's real. If you land in China and try to use your favorite apps or search sites, you'll be stuck. Nothing works. You need a good VPN before you leave home. Even more importantly, China uses almost no cash. I saw a street singer who didn't use a hat for tips. He had a QR code. You pay for everything with your phone using Alipay or WeChat. If you don't have these, it's hard to even buy water. It's a digital world that skipped credit cards and went straight to the future. Once you leave the city lights, the land looks like it belongs on another planet. We're going to Zhangjiajie. This place inspired the floating mountains in the movie Avatar. When the mist rolls between the tall, thin stone peaks, you can see why. There are over 3,000 peaks, some 1,000 feet high. To get up, you take the Bailong elevator. It's the world's tallest outdoor lift, built into a cliff.
You start in the shadows at the bottom, and as you shoot up, the whole forest opens up below. It's scary and beautiful at the same time. Walking across the world's longest glass bridge here is a real test. You're 1,400 feet above a canyon, and the floor is clear. You'll see people crawling on their knees because their brains can't believe the floor is solid. But once you get past the fear, you realize you're in a masterpiece. The air is cool and smells like pine trees. It's a total change from the hot, smoky air of Chongqing. Nearby is Tianmen Mountain. To get there, you take one of the world's longest cable cars, starting right in the city and going up the ridges. At the top is a huge natural hole called Heaven's Gate. It looks like a giant punched a hole through the mountain. To reach it, you have to climb 999 steep stone steps. The number 9 is lucky in China, meaning forever. But halfway up, your legs will be feeling it for a long time. What's next? You aren't ready for this. We're going south to the green mountains of Guilin and the Li River. This is the China you see on the 20 yuan bill. The mountains here are rounded and green, like emeralds in the ground. The best way to see them is on a bamboo raft at 5 in the morning. The water is like glass, and the only sound is the pole hitting the river. You might see a man with a long beard and a straw hat on a raft with 2 big black birds. These are cormorant fishermen. For 1,000 years, they've used birds to catch fish. They tie a string on the bird's neck so it can't swallow the big fish, and the bird brings it back. It's an old art, mostly for tourists now, but in the morning mist, it feels like an ancient painting. Would you try this, or is it a pass for you? Tell me in the comments. I want to know if you're brave enough for the local food. Speaking of food, we have to talk about Xi'an. This city was the start of the Silk Road, the old trade route to the west. Because of that history, Xi'an has a feel you won't find anywhere else. It's a mix of old Chinese ways and deep Middle Eastern styles. The center of the city is the Muslim quarter. It's a maze of small streets where the air smells like roasted nuts, fresh bread, and handmade noodles. You'll see men in white caps cooking big pots of lamb soup. The star here is the biang biang noodles. They are wide and thick like a belt, topped with chili and hot oil. The name comes from the sound the dough makes when the chef hits it on the table to stretch it. The word for biang is so hard to write that you can't even type it on a normal keyboard. It's a dish full of history and flavor. But wait, the history here is actually pretty wild. Just outside the city is the Terracotta Army. Imagine 8,000 clay soldiers, each with a different face, standing still for 2,000 years. They were built to guard the first emperor in the afterlife. When you stand by the pit, the size of it hits you. It's not just statues. It's a massive project that took thousands of workers.
You can see details in their hair, armor, and even their shoes. It's amazing to think a farmer found them by accident in the 70s while digging a well. Back in town, you can rent a bike and ride around the old city wall. It's one of the best-kept old walls in the world.
As you ride along the top, you see the mix of the city. On one side are old towers and roofs. On the other are the bright lights of malls and tall apartments. At sunset, the sky turns orange and the lanterns on the wall light up. It's the perfect spot to see how much history is packed into this country. Hold on, this next part changes everything. We're leaving the lowlands for the roof of the world, Tibet and Western Sichuan. This is where the air is thin and the colors are bright. The Potala Palace in Lhasa is famous around the world. It sits on a hill, a red and white fort that was the home of the Dalai Lama. Climbing the stairs at 12,000 feet is hard. Your heart pounds, and you have to stop to breathe. But inside, the smell of incense and candles makes it feel very spiritual. The faith of the people here is something you won't forget. You'll see travelers who have walked hundreds of miles, bowing to the ground every 3 steps all the way to the temple. They walk around it, spinning prayer wheels and praying. It's a level of belief that's hard to understand if you come from a fast, modern world. If you go further into the mountains of Sichuan, you find Larungar. It's a sea of thousands of small red houses in a valley, all around a big Buddhist school. It looks like a giant red hive. Thousands of monks and nuns live here in tiny rooms to study. The silence of the desert is the loudest thing there. You might sit in a tent made of yak hair, drinking salty butter tea with a family. It's a strange taste for sure. It's more like hot soup than tea. But in the mountain cold, it's exactly what you need. The people here live a life that hasn't changed in hundreds of years. They move with their yaks, living with the seasons. They'll show you their prayer flags, which are hung high so the wind can carry blessings across the land. It's a reminder that there are still parts of the world where the internet and fast trains don't reach, and life is measured by the stars and the weather. But we have to go back to the world of food. Sichuan is famous for its spices, especially the Sichuan peppercorn. Most people think the food is just hot, but it's actually about a feeling called mala. Ma means numbing, and la means spicy. The peppercorn isn't a pepper. It's a berry that makes your tongue buzz. It makes your mouth go numb so you can taste the flavors of the chilies without your brain just feeling heat. In Chengdu, life is a bit more chill than in Shanghai. People spend afternoons in tea houses at the park, sitting on bamboo chairs for hours. You might see people getting their ears cleaned by pros using long silver tools. It's a local tradition meant to be very relaxing. Then there's the matchmaking corner. This is where parents hang up their kids' resumes on umbrellas. They list their height, job, and salary, hoping to find them a partner. It's a fascinating and a bit awkward look at modern social life. And you can't visit Chengdu without seeing the giant pandas. The research center here is amazing. Seeing a dozen baby pandas playing in the grass is enough to make anyone happy. They are clumsy, lazy, and very cute. But they are also a success story for nature. Seeing them shows how the country is trying to balance growing cities with protecting its wildlife. Going south to Yunnan, the air gets warmer and the views change again. This is where that secret spot is. Most people go to the old towns of Lijiang or Dali, which are pretty but crowded. But if you keep going deep into the mountains near Tibet, you find Yubang. It's a small village you could only reach by foot until recently. There are no cars. It's tucked in a valley with snow peaks that look like the Swiss Alps. You wake up to roosters and mist on the glaciers. It feels like the real Shangri-La. This is the hidden gem that makes the trip worth it. The people here are mostly Tibetan and live with the mountains. You can hike to waterfalls or high lakes, passing through old forests. It's a place where you can finally hear yourself think. We've traveled 5,000 miles so far. If you've made it this far, you're part of the team. Subscribe so you don't miss the next trip, because we're not done yet. Our last stop is the heart of the country, Beijing. This is a city of power. You feel it at the Forbidden City, a huge palace with 9,999 rooms. For a long time, this was the center of China, and normal people couldn't even look at the walls. Walking through the yards, you can almost hear the old emperors. The buildings are all about balance and symbols. The yellow roofs are for the emperor, and dragon carvings are everywhere. But Beijing has a very human side too. Near the big towers are the hutongs. These are narrow, gray brick alleys that have been the heart of life for years. People live in old courtyard houses here. You'll see men playing games on the sidewalk and neighbors chatting. The smell of pancakes and the sound of bike bells feels slower than the rest of the city. If you wake up early and go to the park, you'll see thousands of locals doing Tai Chi or dancing. It's a great way to see how people stay connected in a city of 21 million. And then there's the Great Wall. Most tourists go to the fixed parts with gift shops, but for the real deal, you go to the Wild Wall at Jiankou. This part hasn't been touched in years. It's falling apart, covered in trees, and very steep. Climbing it is hard work. You're pulling yourself up over old bricks on thin ridges with big drops. But when you reach the top of a tower and look out, it's one of the most powerful things you'll ever feel. The wall isn't just one line. It's a group of forts built over 2,000 years, looking like a dragon's spine on the mountains. Looking north, you see the wild hills where tribes used to come from. Looking south, you see the glow of Beijing's lights. It shows the struggle between the past and the future. It's a monument to the millions who built it, many of whom are buried there. Standing in the quiet wind, you realize China isn't just a map. It's a story that's been written for thousands of years and is still going. You might think this looks calm, but the wall's history is actually pretty intense. It was a place of war and cold winters for lonely soldiers. And why do locals skip the food spots near the entrance? You won't believe it. They know the food is expensive and boring. They'd rather go back to the alleys for a bowl of jjajangmian, those salty noodles with bean paste. That's the real taste of Beijing. As the sun sets in Shanghai, we finish our trip. The old buildings from the 20s glow on one side, while neon towers scream on the other. China doesn't pick between old and new. It just builds more of both. It's a country that rewards the curious. If you come with an open mind and good shoes, it will change how you see everything. You'll see that news stories are just a tiny part of the truth. The truth is the grandma in the park, the student on the train, and the chef in Xi'an. China is a collection of 1.4 billion stories. It's a place where you see the future and the past at the same time. It's wild, beautiful, confusing, and totally worth seeing. We've only scratched the surface of what this big country has. From the tall streets of Chongqing to the quiet peaks of Yunnan, the journey never really ends. There's a certain feeling you get when you leave. It's a mix of being tired and inspired. You've seen things that seem impossible and eaten things you can't name. You've used a digital world that feels years ahead and walked on stones that have been there forever. It's a place that stays with you, showing up in your dreams and your cravings for a certain spice. It's a reminder that the world is much bigger and more complex than we think. So next time you see Made in China, don't just think of a factory. Think of the mist on the river. Think of neon lights in a Chongqing puddle. Think of prayer flags in the mountain wind. Because that is the real China. It's a place of big contrasts, where a 300-mile-per-hour train can take you to a village where time has stood still. And honestly, that's the most amazing thing about it. Think about the size of the fast train network. China has enough tracks to go around the whole Earth twice. That's not just a number. It's changing how people live.
Someone can live in a cheap city and get to a big hub faster than it takes to cross Los Angeles. This connection is driving growth, but it's also changing the culture. Places that used to be days apart are now just hours away. Still, local pride stays very strong. Someone from Sichuan loves their spice, someone from Shanghai loves their style, and someone from Beijing loves their history. And then there's the language. We call it Chinese, but there are over 200 ways to speak it. Someone from a southern village might not understand a person from the north at all, even though they use the same writing. It's a puzzle that has held the country together for ages. The characters aren't sounds, they are ideas. No matter how you say mountain, the drawing looks the same. It's a steady anchor in a sea of different sounds. When you travel through, you start to learn the hidden rules, like how people wait in line or don't. In a country with this many people, you have to be bold. If you wait for a gap in traffic or at a counter, you'll wait forever. You have to move with the crowd, pushing forward politely but firmly. It's not being mean, it's just how you get around. Once you get it, you feel like you're part of the city's heart. The toilets are another thing to get used to. You'll find squat toilets in many spots, even in nice malls. It's a different way of doing things, but locals say it's actually better for you. Just remember to bring your own paper because many public bathrooms don't have any. These small practical things are what make a trip go smoothly. As you sit on a fast train, watching rice fields and factories fly by, you see that China is always being built.
There are cranes everywhere. They are building cities where there were villages last year. But they are also building huge parks and planting millions of trees. The country is trying to fix old mistakes while pushing into the future. It's a hard balance, and you can see the work everywhere you look. The people you meet are what really make the trip. Like the student in a Shanghai cafe who wants to speak English and gives you a list of hidden bars. Or the old woman in a mountain village who doesn't know your language but gives you walnuts from her tree. These human moments are what bridge the gap between cultures. They remind us that no matter our history, we're all just people trying to find our way. China is a place that challenges what you think. It's not just one thing. It's a land of huge variety, from tropical beaches in the south to ice festivals in the north. It's a place where you find the newest tech and the oldest traditions side by side. It's a country that is always changing itself, but never forgets where it started. Standing on the Bund one last time, watching the lights on the river, you feel the energy. Ships moving slow, thousands of people walking, and the glowing towers reaching for the sky. It's a view that never gets old. It's the pulse of a nation moving at a speed the rest of the world is trying to match. As you head to the airport, you're already thinking about the spots you missed. The desert dunes, the frozen forests, the tea fields. That's the thing about China. No matter how much you see, there's always more. It's a journey that could last a lifetime. But for now, the trip ends here. You've seen the neon, tasted the spice, felt the mountain air, and walked the old stones. You've seen the soul of a country that is as deep as it is beautiful. Hopefully, you've seen that China is more than just a place to visit. It's an experience that changes you. It's a reminder that the world is full of wonder if you're willing to go look for it. The sun finally goes down and the city lights take over. The old buildings glow warm yellow, while the towers across the water flash every color. It's a perfect symbol for the country. Two different worlds, split by a river, but part of the same story.
As night falls, you realize the story of China is just starting. It's a story of 1.4 billion people, and we're lucky to have seen a glimpse of it. Think about how the light hits the peaks in Guilin before a storm. The sky turns a deep purple, and the green mountains look almost neon. The air gets still, and the birds go quiet. Then the rain hits, a sudden tropical pour that turns the river to silver. You hide under a small cafe roof, drinking hot noodles while the water hits the bamboo. In that moment, the modern world feels far away. There are no apps or fast trains, just the rain, the hills, and the earth. This side of China stays with you. It's the quiet beauty in between the big cities. Compare that to the busy chaos of a Beijing subway at rush hour. Thousands of people moving with one goal, led by screens and voices. It's a masterclass in moving people, a human river that never stops. You see a woman in high fashion next to a worker in dusty clothes, both on their phones, both part of the same drive. This is the energy that built the towers and the wall.
It's a restless force that defines the spirit of modern China. But go back to the tea houses in Chengdu, and that energy changes. Here, time is meant to be enjoyed. You see men who have been friends for 50 years at the same table they've used for decades. They play cards, talk, and laugh. The tea is always refilled from long copper pots, a cool show where the server pours a perfect stream. It's a reminder that moving forward doesn't mean losing your soul. You can have the fastest trains and still have a 3-hour tea break. In the Yunnan Mountains, the silence is different. It's a holy silence. You walk a path with thousands of prayer flags, colors faded by the sun. Each flag is a prayer, and as they move, those prayers go into the world. You pass a small shrine with a flickering lamp. The air is so clear, you can see every detail on the sacred peaks that no one is allowed to climb. It's a place that asks for respect, where humans feel small and the earth feels ancient. Sharing a meal in a small village, you see how much family matters. The table is round and every dish is shared. You don't just order for yourself. You eat what's there and make sure everyone else is fed first. The talk is loud and constant, full of jokes and news. Even if you don't know the words, you get the feeling. It's the feeling of belonging to something bigger. This spirit is what holds the country together through all its changes. The village buildings are a language of their own. The curved roofs keep rain away from the wood. The stone steps you have to hop over keep out bad spirits and chickens. The carvings on the doors tell stories of dragons and family duty. Every detail has a meaning from a belief system that has lived for thousands of years. Even as young people move to cities, they come back for the new year, filling these old homes with life again. And what about the animals? In the jungles of the south, you might find wild elephants. In the highlands of Tibet, the snow leopard hides in the rocks. The variety of life here is amazing, reflecting the huge size of the country. From pink dolphins to mountain monkeys, there is a natural world as busy as the human one. Protecting these animals is a big job, a race against time and growth. Traveling here teaches you patience. Things don't always go as planned. Trains get delayed, weather changes, or you get lost in a city not on your map. But these moments of trouble are where the best stories are. It's when you eat with a stranger because you took the wrong bus. It's when you find a hidden temple by turning the wrong way. It's when you realize the journey isn't just about the finish line, but what you learn along the way. The history here is hard to even grasp. You look at a bronze pot that's 3,000 years old and realize the same culture that made it is building space stations now. There is a line here that you don't find elsewhere. The values and stories have been passed down for generations,
surviving wars and big changes. It's a deep strength that gives the country its power. In the end, China has endless layers. You peel one back and find another. You think you get it, and then it surprises you. It's a country that is always growing but stays tied to its past. It's a land of great beauty and big dreams. Looking back, you realize you haven't just seen a place. You've seen a phenomenon. You've seen a nation of 1.4 billion people making a new path while holding on to what makes them who they are. The city lights will stay with you, but so will the mountain silence. The spice will stay with you, but so will the warm tea. The faces you met will stay with you, reminding you of the human stories in this vast land. China isn't just one thing. It's a kaleidoscope. It's a trip that challenges you and changes you. As you close your eyes and think of that Chongqing alley, you can still smell the smoke and feel the pulse of a world that never sleeps. Think about the different weather. In winter, you can be in the north at Harbin, where it's 40 below and people build cities out of river ice. These palaces are lit with colors, looking like a frozen dream. Then, you can fly a few hours to the southern beach in Sanya, sitting under a palm tree in the sun. It's like going from Alaska to Hawaii without leaving the country. This variety shows up in the food, the clothes, and the people. The northern food is heavy to get you through the cold. Think of big buns, pork dumplings, and thick noodles. In the south, the food is light and fresh, with seafood and rice. Every province has its own flavors. You could eat your way across the country for a lifetime and never have the same meal twice. It's a food adventure that tells the story of the culture. Don't forget the skills. In Jingdezhen, they've made porcelain for 1,000 years. You can see workers hand-painting vases with designs so fine they look printed. The skill is passed from master to student, a tradition that made Chinese porcelain famous. Even today with factories, these handmade pieces are the best. It shows how much they value hard work and patience. In the coast cities, the focus is on trade. This is where you see the most global style, with fancy shops and fast lives. But even here, traditions are close. You'll see a man in a suit stop at a shrine to burn incense before a meeting. You'll see a high-tech building designed with feng shui for good luck. It's a mix of the world and the local that is only found here. The schools are another huge part of life. You see kids studying in parks and on buses. The pressure to do well is big, to honor their family and get a good future. This drive is what has pushed the country so fast in science. From trains to computers, the work in the next generation is changing the world. But even with all this, there's a love for the past. You see it in the old-style clothes young people wear for photos in temples. You see it in the return of old crafts. There's a wish to stay tied to their roots in a fast world. This search for who they are is a big theme for young people today. The country areas are changing too, as the government builds roads and internet to help people. Villages that were once cut off are now connected. This brings new chances but also tests the old ways. The goal is to grow without losing the soul of these towns. You can see the results in new schools and shops, even in far-off spots. Traveling through, you see the scale is just different. Bridges are longer, dams are bigger, cities are larger. It shows the size of the people and their dreams. But even with all that, the small things are what stick. A stranger helping you find your way. A kid waving from a scooter. A street seller smiling as he gives you a pancake. These are the moments that make it human. China asks you to pay attention. You can't just sit back and watch. You have to join in, find your way through the maze, and enjoy the mix. It will frustrate you and then amaze you. But that's what makes it great. It's a trip that stays with you long after you go home, shaping how you see the world. As the day ends and stars come out over the Great Wall, you feel peace. The old stones are cold, a link to the millions who stood there before. The wall goes into the dark, a silent witness to a nation that has seen everything. Looking over the hills, you realize the story of China is your story now too. You were part of it for a while. The trip is over, but the memories are just starting. The smell of cumin, the sound of the train, the mist on the hills. These are the things that stay. As you go on with your life, you'll carry a piece of China with you, a reminder of a place where the past and future are always talking. Think of the quiet in a Suzhou garden. These were built to be a small version of nature, with rocks and water in balance. Walking the paths is like seeing a painting come to life. The scholars who built them wanted to escape the world to write and think. Even in a busy city, these spots offer a calm you won't find elsewhere. The sound of a flute, fish in the pond, the smell of flowers. It's a feeling that calms you down. Then, look at the power of the Yangtze River. For ages, this was a dangerous and beautiful spot with deep canyons. Today, it has the world's largest dam, giving power to millions. Taking a boat through, you see the massive view and the human work. The cliffs still rise high, but the river is now a deep lake. It shows the cost and the gain of moving forward. In the grasslands of Inner Mongolia, the sky feels huge. This is the land of history where hills go on forever. You can stay in a tent and see wild horses in the morning. The culture is about horses and music. Listening to a fiddle as the sun sets, you feel a tie to a life of freedom. The city of Xiamen has a different charm. With its old buildings and beaches, it feels like a resort. The island of Gulangyu is a car-free spot of small streets and old homes. It's known for music, and you can hear pianos from the windows. It's a place to slow down, have tea, and watch life. In Fujian, you find the Tulo, big, round earth buildings built for safety. These can hold hundreds of people with a yard in the middle. They are a unique way of living together, built to keep out trouble. Walking inside, you feel the strength of the people. It's a piece of history that is still alive. The different religions are also cool to see. You find Taoist temples on holy mountains and old mosques in the west from the Silk Road. You find churches in the coast cities. Each has its own story in the mix of society. Visiting them, you see the different ways people find meaning. Festivals are when the whole country wakes up. The New Year is the biggest, with family, food, and fireworks for days. The Moon Festival is for family and mooncakes. The Dragon Boat Festival has races and rice treats. These are ways to keep traditions and family bonds strong in a fast world. As you travel, you see the culture in small things. Someone giving their seat to an old person. A shopkeeper using 2 hands to give change. People in the park flying kites. These habits are the base of a society that likes order and peace. They make the country feel familiar even when it's all new. China will never stop surprising you. Just when you think you've seen it, you find a new spot or a new story. It's a land of discovery where every trip leads to something new. You realize there is no one China. There are many, each with its own beauty and story to tell. The script ends with the narrator on the wall, looking at the sunset. The wind is cold, but the air is clear. The past and future are one here. The wall is a bridge, a symbol of the dreams of a people who built a world this big. As the light goes, the story of China keeps going, as old as time and as new as tomorrow.